Karen banned my grandma from the market, didn't know I owned the store, and fired her nephew. The market buzzed with its usual Saturday morning energy, vendors calling out deals, the air thick with the scent of fresh bread and ripe fruit. But today, a piercing shriek sliced through the chatter like a knife. "You don't belong here, old lady." Karen's voice, dripping with venom, silenced the crowd. There she stood, towering over my grandma. Min, a tiny woman with silver hair and a worn apron, her hands trembling as she clutched a basket of bruised apples. Karen, in her pristine fur coat and gaudy gold jewelry, jabbed a manicured finger at Grandma, accusing her of tainting the market with her cheap goods. The crowd froze, watching as Karen banned her from the market, her words laced with cruel disdain. Grandma's eyes glistened with unshed tears, but she held her head high, walking away as whispers rippled through the stalls. I stood in the shadows, fists clenched, my heart pounding with rage. Karen didn't know I owned this market, and she didn't know her nephew, her prized employee, was about to lose everything. The truth unraveled slowly, like a storm building on the horizon. Karen wasn't just a customer with a grudge, she was a regular menace, a self-proclaimed market queen who bullied vendors into submission. Grandma Min had been selling her apples here for decades, her stall a humble corner of the market where she shared stories and smiles with loyal customers. Karen, though, saw her as an easy target. She'd been harassing Grandma for weeks, claiming her apples were inferior and her presence lowered the market standards. That morning, Karen had escalated her campaign, knocking over Grandma's stall in a fit of rage, scattering fruit across the dirt. Witnesses said she'd laughed, calling it cleaning up the trash. But what Karen didn't know was that Lynn, had inherited this market from my late father. I'd been running it quietly, letting the vendors thrive without my name in the spotlight. And I'd been watching Karen's antics for far too long. As I dug deeper, a twist emerged that turned my anger into resolve. I discovered Karen wasn't acting Alaneshed, roped her nephew, Derek, into her schemes. Derek, a lanky, smug 20-something, worked as the market security guard, a job Karen had pressured me to give him months ago. I'd agreed, thinking he'd be harmless. I was wrong. Derek had been slipping Karen vendor schedules, letting her know when Grandma Min would be alone at her stall. He'd even helped her spread lies about Grandma's produce, whispering to customers that her apples were rotten or stolen. The betrayal stung, but it lit a fire in me. Karen thought she could control this market through intimidation and nepotism. She was about to learn how wrong she was. The confrontation came on a crisp Sunday morning, the market packed with shoppers. I planned it carefully, gathering evidence witness statements, security footage of Karen's tantrums, and even text messages between her and Derek plotting against Grandma. The crowd gathered as I stepped onto a wooden crate, megaphone in hand. "Karen," I called, my voice steady but sharp. She spun around, her designer sunglasses glinting in the sunlight, her lips curling into a smirk. "What's this, some kind of peasant uprising?" she sneered, folding her arms. I held up the footage on my phone, projecting it onto a screen we'd set up near the market entrance. The crowd gasped as they saw Karen shoving Grandma's stall, laughing as apples rolled into the dirt. Murmurs turned to boos. Karen's smirk faltered, but she doubled down, shouting, "That old woman deserved it. She's a fraud." Then came the twist that no one saw coming, not even me, until that moment. A frail voice piped up from the crowd. It was Mrs. Chun, a shy vendor who sold herbs and rarely spoke. Trembling, she stepped forward, holding up a crumpled receipt. "Karen tried to bribe me," she said, her voice gaining strength. "She offered me $500 to lie about Min's apples, to say they made customers sick." The crowd erupted, their anger now a roaring wave. Mrs. Chen's courage flipped the script, exposing Karen's manipulation in a way I hadn't anticipated. Karen's face drained of color, her eyes darting to Derek, who stood frozen near a fruit stand. I turned to him, my voice cold. "Derek, you're fired. Pack your things." His jaw dropped, and Karen lunged forward, screeching, "You can't do this. Do you know who I am?" I met her gaze. "I know exactly who you are, and I own this market." Karen's world crumbled in front of everyone. The crowd jeered as she tried to salvage her dignity, her fur coat now looking garish against the market's earthy backdrop. Derek slunk away, his head bowed, avoiding his aunt's furious glares. I handed the megaphone to Grandma Min, who stepped forward, her voice soft but firm. "This market is my home," she said. "You can't take that from me." The crowd cheered, some wiping tears, others clapping for her resilience. Karen, humiliated, tried to storm off, but not before slipping on a stray apple, one of Grandma's, no doubt. She hit the ground with a thud, her designer purse spilling its contents across the dirt. The market roared with laughter, a cathartic release of months of pent-up frustration. Karen scrambled to her feet, her face a mask of fury and shame, and fled, her heels clicking unevenly as she disappeared into the parking lot. In the days that followed, the market transformed. Grandma Min's stall became a symbol of resilience, drawing customers from across town who'd heard her story. Mrs. Chun, emboldened by her stand, started mentoring younger vendors, her quiet strength now a beacon. I installed new rules: no bullying, no favoritism, and a zero-tolerance policy for anyone trying to undermine our community. The market thrived, not just as a place of commerce, but as a testament to standing up to cruelty. Grandma, ever humble, kept selling her apples, each one a reminder that kindness and grit could outshine even the loudest arrogance. Karen was never seen again, her name a cautionary tale whispered among vendors. As for me, I learned the power of stepping out of the shadows to protect what matters. What do you think? Did Karen get what she deserved, or should she have been given a chance to make amends? Share your thoughts on justice and redemption in the comments below.